entering the temple of Anubis.
So make sure positioning wise is always as informed as you can be, so that you're maintaining the sightlines, particularly on your tanks, and avoiding sightlines with the enemy. You need to be thinking... I think the other reason why I like Ana Rhine is because it's similar thought processes with looking to know where everyone on your team is positioned and everyone on their team is positioned, and tracking the cooldowns of allies and enemies alike.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
I'm ready to chill.
So your focus is on your Winston and your D.Va. Your healing will determine how long they are able to stay engaged. You don't care about who's in spawn. Focus on your tanks. Take the opportunity to reload before they jump in. Good nade, because you naded yourself and the enemy and one of your allies. You know they have a Widow, so this is really risky for you to try and cross this gap right now.
Yeah, I just crouched a bit.
The thing is, you didn't really need to move left. If your tanks are moving left, it's unlikely they want to hang around there for very long. She's got a health kit if she needs it. Reload.
Oh, that sounded so weird. My ears don't like this. Nano. Okay.
I come back from worse.
Yeah, just switching it on and off is just so different.
I can't seize this, I'll tell like the shields.
You can also tell people to move to their left or their right if you need to. You can throw a nade up there if you wish. You're not interested in taking a 1v1 with a tracer. Your reaction needs to just be run away. Just...
Well, I feel like I'm gonna die either way. Like,
It'll take more than that to keep me out of the fight.
Bombs away.
So you know you can't walk through that. Yeah, yes, so then don't.
no, I won't. Cell tech on left. Like, if you want heals, I can't heal you there.
I mean, you can also just say, look where your honor is. Now that you can see people's outlines through walls, peeking a Widow is a very bad idea. You don't... Why are you peeking? Stop peeking, please.
I'm trying to bait the Widow shot.
That's not a very good idea. You got a bubble, go. Go. If you'd reloaded earlier, you would have been able to then still be healing your D.Va when she really needed it. Where is everyone? Where's the Orisa? Where's the Tracer? Where's the Widow? So you know the Widow's back right of point. So you're in the open right now. You have no cover, and anyone can shoot you from anywhere.
Right. So if I go that, is that better?
Why don't you just go to point? So, no, stop trying to 1v1. There you go. Now the Widow can't shoot you. You can go in the left room. There you go. Now you can heal your team and no one can kill you. Don't be afraid to nade yourself. You've been holding on to Nano. You can Nano Bob if you need to.
I don't think I do.
But that's what your thought process kind of needs to be is, if I am going to Nano, who am I looking to Nano? And if so...
I would have Nanoed Bob in that situation.
Yeah.
But I'm
And then-
looking to Nano Winston when he jumps in first engage.
I mean, you don't need to Nano him as soon as he jumps in.
No, I know.
If you Nano him in the mid-fight, he can sustain longer in the fight. Don't be afraid to nade allies if you need to, because every second that you're healing up a target when you don't really need to, it's time you're losing on the clock. You've got a target behind you.
Faces left, 3, 2, 1. Do that.
For you can see how with like the Dolby Atmos, you can literally hear exactly where the traitor is.
No, wait.
You don't care about the Hammond. You care about keeping your team alive and nading a target that is contesting. Nade something. Sleep something. Nade. Sleep. Nano something. You want to win this fight. Win this fight.
Ah, I got booped.
Win this fight for your team. You got nades. Big... No. Focus on the contesters. Focus on the contesters.
Zen's left. Tracer.
You should be looking to nade yourself and an enemy at the same time in that position. It's very easy for you to do. Because it also buffs the Zen's healing onto you.
Victory.
Okie dokie. So, I've done quite a few other Ana coaching sessions as well. I think most of them are on my own channel over at Enermatrix _. So you can have a look through some of those as well. So have a look at all of the Ana ones, I'd say.
Yeah.
Have I done... So there was some Rhine Zen for Ben Walker. Got a Protective VOD review. Ana positioning. I've got some support Smurf games, which might be worth looking through. Spetsnaz, off-tank, off-healer. Yes, there's quite a few videos of mine that you can have a look through that are relevant to support. And you could also have a look at, I think even like the Master 6 stack one is, I mean, going by the thumbnail, it looks like I was on Ana for it.
Ana.
Yeah. So yeah, just have a look at some of those. You can just have a look at kind of how I'm playing in terms of playing close to walls most of the time, sightlines on allies, sightlines on enemies, what my reaction to different situations is. So I don't have this sightline or the enemy has this sightline. What is my reaction to that? But also you can almost flip and do the reverse and be looking at my gameplay and be thinking, what am I doing wrong? Because that will be incredibly beneficial, because then you're not just looking at a master support player, you're then looking and thinking, what is this master support player doing that they could be doing better? And then you're applying that to your own gameplay.
I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna take a nap. Bye-bye, boys. See ya. Stuff that out.
I'm going to disappear. Access hell.
So yes, overall, I think a pretty good improvement across the evening. The main things for you to work on are just throw more nades out. You know, make sure that you're, where possible, if it's close quarters, you're hitting yourself and an enemy with the nade, because that gives you an instant heal. It also gives you a heal buff for your second healer to keep you alive, and also puts pressure on them. A lot of the time you don't need to force the engagement. So, you know, you don't need to, especially on DPS, or if it's, you know, a Hammond, for example, you don't need to force that engagement. They will look to come to you, and you can engage them with a greater advantage in your favor. You know, the part that we covered at the beginning with Rialto about how if they are a good player, they'll be tracking your cooldowns, and that influences how they're playing and when they engage onto you. Ana is very similar to Ryan, in that you're very much thinking from the perspective of the enemy players a lot of the time. You know, what's going through their mind, what are they thinking, what are they looking for. And I think you've got a lot of the right instincts, and you've got just a lot of really good fundamentals as well. And as I've said, you have that drive and interest to improve and learn as well. So I'm pretty confident that your Ana play will improve, that your Zen play will improve. I think my advice is what I did is I use my Micro Horse Smurf for support. I have a DPS Smurf, and then I have an off-tank Smurf, which I'm actually now going to expand to be off-tank plus Orisa and Hammond, because those are the main tanks that I'm very weak at. And I'm finding that when I'm having to flex onto Orisa on maps like Nepal, I'm losing almost all of those games because my Orisa isn't up to scratch. So you can use your Smurf accounts to get better at the heroes that you want to get better at in a competitive environment, and you'll be in the elo that you should be for that role. That would be my advice.